Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
And we are back with this very special edition of Atlanta Business Radio. Stone Payton Lee Cantor here with you. We're actually broadcasting live from Georgia State University at the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Institute. Lee, this is sort of our home stretch, right? Last episode of the day.
I think so.
Man, a lot of weight on you guys. We have had 3 marvelous episodes. I wouldn't want to have to follow those acts, but I know you guys are up to it. Lee, I really do think this is going to be a fantastic segment. We've got 3 guests, 2 different companies that we're going to talk with. First up in this episode of GSU ENI Radio, we have with us founder and editor-in-chief with Quaint Revolt Media, Miss Sasha-Gay Trusty. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
We are doing great. And Sasha-Gay, before we get too far into things, tell us about Quaint Revolt Media. How are you serving folks?
How am I serving folks? So I started this blog while I was in college to kind of explore myself, covering art and fashion around the city and kind of bridging creatives here and in Jamaica, where I'm from. And it kind of spiraled and grew into a publication. I realized I was running it as a magazine anyway, so might as well go full force. So what we offer is a platform, a multicultural platform for creatives to express themselves who are coming out of fashion, contemporary art, music, and film.
And then, so you said it started as a blog, but it's now kind of morphed into an actual printed magazine?
Well, we are working on segueing into print, but we're building our online base right now. So we're focusing on just bringing more people into the fold, building that brand awareness, and letting people know that we're here. As you probably know, print is very hard to accomplish when you're a startup, and it's very costly. So for me, it's just about building that demand and being able to monetize it through what the people want when they're ready for it.
And then right now in its blog form, is it user-generated content, or is this something that you're actually creating the content yourself or your team?
Oh yeah, we're creating content in-house. So, since I graduated in May, I've assembled a small team. So we have a few editors, a photographer, videographer, and we just kind of hit the ground running, doing everything ourselves, covering Afro-punk festivals, covering, concerts and, art shows and, openings, all that good stuff. So we're actually assigning people out and giving them opportunities to expand and get their first start, working within a magazine.
Now, is that difficult to find the right team?
Absolutely. Again, being a startup, it's a lot of work, and you got to build that trust with people. I think that's where I'm at. It's just kind of like letting them know that I'm here as a resource. And, a good thing, Georgia State, I have a great relationship with Georgia State. I was a part of the incubator here, and I kind of, partnered with the journalism department, the film department, to offer college credit. So a lot of my interns and a lot of people I'm working with are actually peers and people I share a college educational background with.
So now in the media world, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing regarding, for most traditional media like this, is kind of the audience and then the advertisers. How are you kind of monetizing this and building a financial model around it?
Yeah, so I'm so glad you asked that. We actually are now in works. We have one paying advertiser in addition to partnering with like Share Sale and user-generated ads just available to publications where we apply for. But we do have paid advertisers right now and another one in the works. So I'm hoping to seal that deal this week.
So now your vision for the publication is what exactly? Like, is it like you mentioned Jamaica earlier? Is it kind of have Jamaica, America world view of the kind of artists that you're celebrating?
Yeah. So Atlanta is our home. So we revel in finding, those creatives here, but we definitely have a strong interest, through just tracking our users online. We have a very good relationship with Jamaica and the UK. So initially I'm plan to just maximize what I have here and then reach out into the islands and maybe do a spin-off there, maybe do something internationally that can kind of like tie it all in together.
And then, so the ultimate though is to have a print publication. Do you have a date that you're aiming for to have the first one published?
We're aiming for fall, winter 2020. It's a stretch and it's kind of hard, but I think if we keep our boots on the ground right now, build that audience, we're doing really, really well with customer discovery and just hitting people from all areas, physically, in-person experiences, online advertising, all that. So I think if we keep on that track and we keep producing that content and growing our audience organically, we'll probably be ready to meet that deadline.
So now if you were to work backwards and say, okay, we want to publish in fall of 2020, what are the steps you have to do in order for that to occur? What are the milestones you have to hit in order for that to become possible?
For that to become possible, we need to be able to cover our printing costs. So in order to do that, we need to build a relationship with advertisers, which is why we're focusing on starting off with the online ads so that we can produce results for them that way, so they can be able to trust us to go into print with their work and be able to build circulation with us from the onset. And I think if we keep reaching out and building our team, growing our team with a diverse talents all over the country. We have writers in Miami, in New York, and here, and even in Jamaica. So if we're bringing in all these different voices and all of these different people into our fold, I really do believe we'll be able to execute that editorial calendar well.
So now, because you are dealing with somewhat in the arts and fashion and things like that, is there kind of a monetization around kind of selling some of the stuff that's being profiled in the thing, and is there revenue streams that can come of that?
Yeah, so one of the things is a lot of our creatives, they have products that they sell anyway. So even if I'm featuring a visual artist, they may have prints that they sell. So we're developing an e-commerce aspect to where we can partner with them, post content to do like special edition prints or special edition t-shirts or garments that reflect taking the content and making it something more of an experience for our readers.
So now I'm sure you're aware that like Amazon is doing a partnership with a fashion show with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn that they're going to spotlight the fashion, and then the fashion will be on sale on Amazon. Is there something that can be a hybrid, is kind of an evolution of the publication where it's almost in partnership with the content?
Exactly. And if you're into fashion, you kind of see those models are kind of where it's going right now. They're trying to figure out a way to leverage their presence through media and also giving people that post media or post experience, carrying that over through products, making them specialty, or designer collaborations or collaborations between photographers and publications. So it's just about finding out unique ways for people to experience the content and find products that actually speak to what they're consuming.
Is it going to evolve into events as well?
Definitely. We actually did a lot of events this summer. Our activations went really, really well. So that's how we're locally building our audience through customer discoveries, through activations.
So that it becomes more than a print magazine.
Absolutely.
Is that how you see media evolving, where it isn't just the place where content lives, it's also a gathering place for this type, the kind of the spirit around it, not just the kind of the words on the page?
Absolutely. If you look at some of the things why a lot of major publications have faltered, it's because it become too static. You know, there's no way to translate what I'm consuming online into my real life. Even if I'm obsessed with a designer, they may not have the price point that I want, but if they partner with a Quaint, Revolt, or a smaller publication to do like a specialty run collection, those things relate directly to their audience, and it keeps people in their fold, whether or not they may not have been fans before, they may have been a target audience before. So it's just about leveraging it's all about mixing high and low right now. It's never just about sticking to what's standard in media, and that is why a lot of publications are fusing. If you look at Refinery 29, all of it is about experiences, taking the content and giving people experiences of that in real life.
So now, how did you kind of come up with this? What was kind of the genesis of the idea, and to move into first a blog and then into print? Have you always been involved in this kind of creative endeavors? Yeah.
So Quaint Revolt developed alongside my career and while I was in school. So I was testing my hand. I worked in specialty retail. I worked in niche market retail. I worked in publications that have a niche market or a smaller audience. And for me, it was stretching my wings, but I realized that it was just not enough. There was something else missing, or it was a little too lifestyle or too general. People want something a little bit more tailored and focused. And I decided to use my experience just as trial and error to figure out if I could be able to create something that I was looking for. And I think I've gotten a good response in that regard. It's there, but people want to take it a little bit further.
So now, how did you know you were on the right track?
I think I knew I was on the right track. Honestly, even though I've been doing it for a few years, when I went through the Main Street program, and actually I've never pitched, I've never done anything like that before. And to get any type of validation from seasoned entrepreneurs, people who don't even have a background in a creative field, but they see the value in what I'm trying to create. And that really just changed the game for me. So from there, I put myself in other entrepreneurship spaces and membership clubs, and the reception has been really, really good. And it's not that I'm waiting for validation to, go through with my idea, but it does feel good to know that someone doesn't even have to be abreast or involved in what you're doing to see the value in it. So for me, that was a game changer.
And what do you need more of right now?
I need more marketing. I need way more marketing. And we're producing the content. We're getting the content flowing. But I think marketing, our website is great. We get a lot of good feedback on that, but a lot more people need to be able to see it.
And then how has GSU helped you?
Oh, my gosh. So I am not from a business background and entrepreneurship background at all. I'm a true blue creative. I literally learned everything about being a businesswoman, learning my business, learning about business in general, but also just specifically about publishing and media and my rights. And I learned that through being a member of Launch GSU, and through Launch GSU, I was able to do demos and meet other creatives. And like right now I host my team meetings still there. And then I was able to get into the Main Street Entrepreneurship, Seed Fund program and actually won. So yeah, Georgia State gave me the foundation, for my career in terms of my education, but it also gave me the foundation, as an entrepreneur.
Now, are you self-funded or do you have investors?
No investors as of yet. I would love to hone the business model, actually generate a significant amount of money on our own before we can even qualify for any investment. Yeah.
Now, what's the most rewarding part for you?
Ooh, the most rewarding part for me is just being able to do it. This thing has been in ideation since 2014. I've been working on it, honing it for so long, and I feel like now is the time that it's finally synthesizing and falling into place, and I actually have some type of a foundation. And just to see the slow steps, knocking things off that have been on my list forever, just being able to tick those things off, even having a team, everything on that website up until this year was written, edited by me, like designed by me, and now I have others input to go off of. It's that to me is enough, just being able to see the progress.
Now, if somebody wanted to see your work or to get involved and become part of your community, what's the best way to do that? Is there a website or social media?
For sure. So our website is www.qrmedia.co.com. That's qrmedia.co. And we're online on social media everywhere at QUAINT That's Quaint Revolt. And that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Quaint Revolt, as well as LinkedIn.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, stay with us. We got a couple more entrepreneurs we're going to visit with, okay?
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have with us, Lee, the CEO and CTO. These two gentlemen are the co-founders with Observe, Lawrence Chen and Nishant Sinha. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we are delighted to have you. Looking forward to learning all about Observe. But before I do, what did you learn, if anything, from that last segment?
Media is a very powerful tool.
Amen.
So tell us about Observe. How are you serving folks?
So Observe, it started from a personal problem. We're all students, and at the end of the day, we're all students till the day we die. But it started when I got into college. I realized a lot of students were very uncertain with what they're pursuing. They were pursuing their careers blindly. To say they were testing and checking if each major fit for their personality. And what I learned is they would switch a major, and that cost a lot of time and money over time. But what we're doing is we're bridging the gap for student uncertainty bridging with professionals, allowing students to see what it's like to be a professional in their work culture and work environment.
So what's an example of that?
So you could see it as a social growth network. Students will be able to ask professionals questions, and with the questions, professionals can record themselves answering the questions. So an example is, say, a student wants to see what it's like to be a radio interviewer. The student would ask the question, "What does it look like to be a radio interviewer?" The professional would literally show his day as a radio interviewer.
So how would that occur? So, like, say you wanted to know about what I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to tell you. They're going to call me up, and I'll go, "Hey, this is what it's like."
It's a social growth network, but the content is powered through questions and curiosity. So the platform is providing professionals and students with curiosity tools. So students will be able to go into the platform and literally type a question that they want answered, like Quora, but the professional will record like a Snapchat style video showing what it is like to be in their job position. So think about, say, a biochemist, and students really have no idea what a biochemist is.
Right.
Yep. Students will be able to ask, "Can you show me, say, your desk and what it looks like?" And the professional will take out their phone and show what their desk looks like in their work environment. They can even go further into processes and concepts and theories.
But so what's in it for the biochemist?
It's personal branding. It's incentive. It shows work culture. It helps build their.
So they're going to do it kind of altruistically to help a young person kind of get an idea if this is the right fit for them.
Yes, essentially. They already do it on Instagram. They do it on YouTube, Google. There's a lot of videos that are trending now. They're called Day in the Life of Blank Professionals. Mm-hmm. Yep. So it shows professionals basically just show what they do throughout their day.
Okay, I get that. Yes, it's altruistic, but it's also, I mean, that's content marketing too, right? That's what do you call it? Thought leadership, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It helps them build their expertise in their field, as well as, so people create LinkedIn profiles just to solidify that they're professional in life now, but now they can actually show what they do in life compared to the more so achievement side of things.
So now a lot of people, and I see a lot of young people, they have these dreams as a kid. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer, whatever. And they have no idea what that day-to-day life is, right? So then they're going through life as if that's so, and they're going to be a doctor, and they're going to the major, and they start out and they're pre-med, and they're like, wow, biology is hard, and this is harder than I thought. And then when it's time to be a doctor, they're like, I hate being a doctor. I didn't realize I had to, talk to people every day, or that's a lot of responsibility, or like whatever the reason is. That's just not what they thought that the TV show they watched when they were 8 was the one, or their parents made them do it. So then there's a huge disconnect. So I can see the total need for doing this. I'm just unclear of how this is done in kind of in a mass way, not in one-on-one way, right?
It'd be a one-to-many. So whoever tunes in, you could look at it from a standpoint like, yes, the professional answers the questions, but it's a one-to-many ratio in terms of how many students can see what the professional's teaching.
Right.
Yep. So it is a mass way.
So then it's ultimately, like, if you want to do something, shouldn't you just call up one of these people and say, let me follow you around?
It's not as accessible. This would be a centralized source of insight, literally for professional insight and career understanding and job opportunities.
Now, how does the money work? Does the student pay to kind of get this information? Like, how do you monetize this?
We've been using it through data and ad generation from the long-term perspective, but from the shorter-term perspective, we'd probably approach a subscription basis with school systems, university systems, allowing students to actually just access to the platform.
Mm-hmm. And then what stage are you at right now?
Right now we're in beta and prototype.
So you have a working model right now? There's people that have asked questions, and there's professionals that have done day in the life videos?
There are professionals. There's validation through YouTube and Instagram. You can find a lot of professionals. People actually go on to, say, Snapchat to see what a surgeon does. But the problem with Snapchat, it's a lot more private, and you have to add them personally. Through Observe, you can actually explore and find professionals.
Now, are you right now just curating these day in the life videos as the kind of how to do the thing? Or are you looking for, once I get on the Observe platform, then I'm going to find another Observe person who has shared this day in the life, so it stays within your platform?
So right now, our platform is still in development, but we have been approaching it from a more MVP standpoint, we've been testing and seeing it done on Snapchat, as I shared already, Instagram, Google. And then we also have professionals share, like we have
Who?
We have professionals mock content. So I actually tested it on Snapchat myself. Every single internship and job I had, I actually went on to Snapchat and showed what I did. And I learned that there was a curve in terms of people wanted to see more of my job description and duties. They actually thought it was interesting. Say, example, I was in IT at Georgia State University and I was changing projector bulbs. And I'll do the step-by-step process on how to change a projector bulb. But the fact that people gained a lot of knowledge from that, they were able to take away how to change a projector bulb after that. So I did my own testing. And on Instagram, I do an active amount of testing in terms of what the Observe MVP would be. If you go to my Instagram, I utilize it as what Observe would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what do you need more of right now?
Right now, honestly, we need to do more professional customer discovery. So we're trying to cater to what the professionals need the most. And because they are the ones who empower the platform with content. And so we just need to be able to figure out how to provide the best tools so professionals can provide the best content.
And then do you leave it up to the professional to decide how they're going to kind of share this information? Or do you say, okay, in order, the best things work like this, here's the 4 steps you have to do in order to kind of give me back the content I need for my people, so they get a kind of a 360 view of what your work day is like or your work?
So initially starting onboarding, we would provide the professionals a set of questions so they can answer as a growth hack, just like Twitter requires people to follow, say, 20 people when you start a Twitter.
Right.
And then moving in, from there, we actually just have the professionals. They can actually create content any way they want because in today's world, well, always, everyone's a different type of learner. Some people learn through visual, some people learn through audio, some people learn through text. But professionals be able to choose how they want to record, and we'll leave it up to them to what questions they answer, just like Quora.
And then, so it's kind of a version of Quora that is targeted to this kind of the young person that isn't clear of what they want their future to be.
Yeah, you can see it like that. You can see it like a Quora mixed with LinkedIn and Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And then, so what's the vision? How does the story end?
A happier, stronger workforce, less anxiety and depression. There's a direct correlation between life and work happiness. The happier you are at work, the happier you are in life. They're almost parallel to some degree, if you want to consider it like that. But what we're trying to do is provide people more certainty when choosing their careers so they can have happier, more fulfilled lives.
Now, in your own personal life, do you know of a lot of people who thought they were on one path and then they ended up not happy with their choices?
That's where it all stemmed from. Is just it gave me, honestly, anxiety to just see the amount of friends switching their majors. There's actually statistics that 75% of students change their major at least once before college, and each additional semester is a $10,000 additional cost.
And so what's the cost of money is one thing, but it's also kind of the emotional cost. Have you seen any of that play out regarding some of the stress that they're under, or maybe financial pressure after they graduate?
I think every student in this room can vouch for me that they witness so many students going through emotional trauma and stress because they're not sure on their career. And once they actually get into their career, it still continues. And they're kind of stuck in a boat. Where
do you see the parents playing into this? Because some parents kind of encourage a certain direction in life for the young person, and then the young person feels an obligation because the parents writing the check or kind of backing them.
That's what I hope to change. One of the big problems is forced bias based on like parents want students, their kids to pursue a career for the prestige or the money, but they don't realize it really takes a specific type of personality and fit to actually enjoy the job long enough to stay in it. There's not enough people who are passionate about their careers in today's world. There's actually statistics show there's only 13% of professionals who actually have a love relationship with their job.
So now, is there going to be a place on this platform for the parent?
The parent is technically a professional if you consider it. And then they're also
right, but from a parent and education and understanding and a little more empathy to help them help their child choose the right thing rather than the expected thing.
I think a child's interest is more so based on their own decisions. So I'd like to disconnect the parent and I'll let the child or the student literally explore on their own.
That's what you'd
natural
like
interests.
to happen, but in real life, do you see that happening?
We have control of like how the app moves forward, I guess. So we'd cater it so that parents don't force this upon their
Right,
kids.
because that takes some education, because culturally, a lot of cultures are encouraging children to go in certain direction.
Right. But I think just from natural interest and the thirst for knowledge for students and self-awareness, Observe will be a incentive and actually an interest point because students want to figure out how to pursue their lives.
So now, how does the student become aware of Observe right now?
Currently, we are doing marketing on social media. We're about to create commercials and ads, and our main focus, and I think it's going to be a lot of growth hacking, so features that we're going to implement into the platform, as well as just word of mouth and natural interest.
And is this being self-funded right now, or how are you
currently
getting your funding?
It's being self-funded, yes, and also we are being funded by Georgia State through their Main Street Seed Fund program.
So you were able to kind of leverage that. You applied for that and were able to get that kind of helping you out, getting that going.
Yes, definitely.
How did that help?
It's helping in the aspect, it helps with operations, legalities, marketing efforts, as well as development.
And has Georgia State been a good resource for you outside of the seed fund?
They've been an amazing resource. Their Entrepreneurship Institute, as well as the Robinson Business College, CMII, across the board, Georgia State's a great supporter.
And if somebody wanted to connect with you and get on the platform and learn more, can they sign up? Is there a wait list right now, or are there beta testers, or how can they get involved?
You can sign up to be a beta tester and also become an email subscription. Join our email subscription list at getobserve.com. And so that's getobserve.com.
And then on the different social media channels, what's the best way to connect?
Our Instagram is getobserve. So, and then our Twitter is getobserve, and our Facebook is getobserve as well. So across the board, just getobserve.
Good stuff. Well, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing your story, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. That's a wrap for our day here at GSU ENI. This is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you next time on GSU ENI Radio.